Zodiac signs and how they change after betrayal. Check timestamps for your sign. Aries. The questions stop before the anger does. At first, they may confront everything. What happened, when it started, and why someone thought they could get away with it. But betrayal changes how much energy they are willing to spend demanding answers from a person who already showed poor character. They become quicker to leave and far less interested in explanations that arrive only after the truth is exposed. The danger is treating every mistake like a deliberate act of disloyalty. Still, the lasting shift is clear. They no longer fight to prove they were worth choosing. Once loyalty becomes a debate, they are already halfway gone. Taurus. The routine may remain, but the dependence disappears. After betrayal, they become careful about allowing anyone to feel necessary. They may share time, affection, and familiar spaces while quietly maintaining a backup plan no one knows about. Their own money stays separate. Their private routines remain protected. Even during peaceful periods, part of them remembers how normal everything looked before the truth came out. What changes is not their desire for stability. It is their willingness to place all of it in someone else's hands. The risk is building relationships where trust is offered in small pieces, but never allowed to become complete. Gemini. They still talk. They simply stop revealing. The jokes, stories, and late-night conversations may continue, so most people assume nothing has changed. But the details that could expose insecurity, attachment, or fear quietly disappear. Betrayal teaches them how easily their own words can be twisted, repeated, or used out of context. Afterward, they become skilled at appearing open while protecting the emotional center of every story. The danger is creating closeness that feels real to everyone except them. People may know what happened during their week, what made them laugh, and what they think, but never what still has the power to hurt them. Cancer. Good memories stop being enough evidence that someone is still good for them. Before betrayal, they may hold on to the history, the care once shown, the promises once kept, and the version of the person who felt safe. Afterward, nostalgia loses some of its authority. They begin judging the relationship by what is happening now, not by how loved they felt 6 months ago. Their warmth remains, but forgiveness no longer guarantees renewed access. The risk is becoming suspicious whenever a new connection starts feeling familiar. Still, the deeper change is necessary. A beautiful past can no longer convince them to ignore a painful present. Leo. What stays with them is not only the dishonesty, it is the humiliation of realizing they defended someone who was quietly betraying them. They may have celebrated the relationship publicly, dismissed other people's concerns, or proudly believed the bond was different. Afterward, new love becomes more private. They stop using visibility as proof that something is secure and pay closer attention to how a person behaves when nobody is watching. Pride may make it difficult to admit how deeply the betrayal affected them, but their standards become sharper. They stop asking whether someone looks impressive beside them and start asking whether that person is trustworthy behind them. Virgo. They begin questioning their judgment more than the person who deceived them. Every missed clue returns for review. The explanation that did not quite fit, the strange change in tone, or the moment they decided they were overthinking. After betrayal, observation can become constant scanning. They notice pauses, wording, timing, and tiny inconsistencies long after the new person has earned no suspicion. The risk is making trust depend on flawless behavior. One mistake can suddenly feel like the beginning of the same story. What they must eventually remember is simple but difficult. Being successfully deceived does not mean they lacked intelligence. It means someone worked to appear trustworthy. Libra. Closure stops requiring the other person's agreement. Before betrayal, they may search for a fair conversation where both sides acknowledge what happened and leave with mutual understanding. Afterward, they become less interested in convincing someone to admit the truth correctly. They know what they experienced. That becomes enough. The change is visible when they no longer soften the facts to preserve an image of the relationship or wait for the perfect apology before walking away. The risk is becoming emotionally finished before expressing anything clearly. Still, betrayal teaches them that peace does not always come from balance. Sometimes it comes from refusing to negotiate with denial. Scorpio. Someone can feel incredibly close to them afterward and still never reach the part that matters most. Betrayal does not always make them visibly cold. It makes them skilled at creating controlled intimacy. They may share memories, opinions, and personal stories while keeping their deepest fears somewhere inaccessible. The connection feels intense, but certain doors never open. This protects them from being hurt with precision again, yet it also leaves new people bonding with a carefully selected version of them. The real change is not secrecy alone. It is learning how to appear fully known without becoming fully vulnerable. Closeness becomes possible, but complete access becomes rare. Sagittarius, the future becomes private again. After betrayal, they may still enjoy someone, travel with them, laugh with them, and build strong chemistry, but hesitate to make plans too far ahead. Shared promises once made them feel expansive. Now those promises can feel like a setup for disappointment. They watch whether someone returns, follows through, and remains consistent after the excitement fades. The risk is keeping every relationship temporary enough that nobody can truly disrupt their future. They may call it flexibility when it is actually self-protection. Betrayal does not destroy their hope. It simply makes them stop handing tomorrow to people who have only proven themselves today. Capricorn. The hardest part is seeing how much of real life was built around the wrong person. It may involve time, money, family decisions, career adjustments, or plans that required years of trust. After betrayal, they become much slower to integrate someone into the structure of their life. Affection may come early, but practical access does not. They watch how a person handles responsibility before allowing them near anything difficult to rebuild. The risk is turning love into an assessment where nobody can qualify without years of evidence. Still, the shift is understandable. They no longer confuse emotional certainty with proof that someone can carry real weight beside them. Aquarius. They avoid being disappointed by becoming the person who never asks anyone for anything. After betrayal, self-sufficiency can grow far beyond independence. They make decisions alone, solve problems privately, and stop sharing needs that would allow another person to matter. From the outside, they look composed and unaffected. Inside, they are designing a life where nobody has enough responsibility to fail them. The cost is that future partners may feel unnecessary rather than trusted. Betrayal makes emotional dependence seem dangerous, but complete self-reliance creates its own kind of distance. The change protects them from being let down and quietly prevents them from being supported. Pisces. Their intuition becomes something they question instead of automatically trusting. Before betrayal, a powerful feeling may have convinced them that the connection was rare, meaningful, or somehow meant to happen. Afterward, they wonder whether intensity was guidance or simply a warning they romanticized. Emotional explanations lose some of their power. They begin comparing what they sensed with what the person repeatedly did. One vulnerable conversation no longer erases a pattern. The risk is distrusting every deep connection because the last one felt equally real. They do not lose compassion, but they stop treating a strong emotional pull as proof that someone is safe. Conclusion. Betrayal does not always make someone colder. Sometimes it simply changes the price of access. Trust becomes slower, softness becomes more selective, and the parts once offered naturally are protected behind evidence. The person may still love just as deeply. They have simply learned that feeling close to someone and being safe with them are not always the same thing. What part of you became harder to reach after someone broke your trust? Share your sign and your answer in the comments, and follow for more Zodiac insights without the recycled stereotypes.